Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Olakunle Soriyan. Thank you very much. PK, over to you.
Thank you so much, Shola Ibabe. I celebrate you today, your birthday, 10 years, 5 times. There's nothing cheap about that. That is the pure grace, the mercy of God and capacity. You know, you are a force. I'll say it anywhere. You know, I've met human beings in my life. You are an Israelite without guile. Your spirit is pure. Your heart is pure. Your mind is focused. You are an amazing human being. I mean, you are an amazing human being beyond all your skills. And you are a skillful man, extremely skillful, you know, in many ways, particularly in the knowledge space. You are extremely skillful. All of what we are doing, most of the speakers you have brought here, there's nothing, you know, people are saying that you cannot say or you cannot step in and tell. You know, you are a thought leader in your own right and in your own place. But above all of that, you know, I celebrate you for your humanity. You are such a human being. You know,
okay, have you
find
gotten
so
the
many
cake?
people everywhere with
Hey,
all
the
kinds
cake
of
is the first thing
capacity,
now.
but very few people can function, you
Ah,
know,
no.
clear value. I celebrate you, sir. God bless you. It's a privilege for me. I've said it to you privately and I'll say it in public. Every time you say mentor, 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 it's a huge privilege for me. I consider it extremely huge that you've placed me in that kind of a place. I do not take it for granted 1 minute, you know. I thank you for your strength, your family, your kids, your entire life. I'm just excited to be part of today. Because of time, we've used it a lot today. So let me try and maximize the time. I see a lot of amazing people here. I heard Nana. It's been a long time that I've seen her and I've spoken to her. I'm so glad. I was so glad to hear her today and to see her today. Felicia's session was amazing. Claire, my friend and brother Larry Olushola's session, the catalyst. Huge stuff, man. That's huge stuff. Dr. Lucy, thank you. A protege of mine in Irving, Dallas, reached out to me yesterday to say Dr. Lucy and himself, you know, Ebenezer Allen, he reached out to say Agbaje. He reached out to say, you know, you guys, it's been a long way. You used to talk, fellowship, and all of that, you know, and he was just mentioning all of that. Great guy. He's one of the strongest men in the city of Dallas, doing incredible work in the security space. He's a private investigator and doing a good work there, you know, and he mentioned that, you know, you guys share a lot. So, I mean, thank you all for your resource background and the value you bring. I see participants there. Parquet, I think I see Parquet somewhere there, you know. I think I see Parquet there. Amuche, I see you. Enahoro, I see you. Olumide Ekun, I see you as well. You know, yeah, I see you all, you know, God bless you all the guys. Lara, I see you, Lara. You know, I've known Lara way back. Lara, I see you. She's a voice in our own place today. Thank you all for coming and hanging in there. And whoever I couldn't mention, you know, you are all here. I'll have to be a magician to take everybody's name in my head, you know, so please forgive and bear. All right, I am supposed to speak real quick on why nimbleness is a strategy. Why nimbleness is a strategy. One of the easiest things for me. I mean, I've been doing speaking now for about 2 decades, you know, but one of the easiest things you can do in speaking is to talk about the why. You know, there are 4 levels of conversation. There is the why, there is the how, you know, there is the what. First of all, the what is the lowest level of communication. The why is the second level of communication. The third is the third level of communication. The highest is whatness. So I try to stay on the whatness most of the time, but when I'm asked to stay on the why, I mean, I love it. It's the easiest thing, I can do. So thank you for keeping me on the why, Shola everybody. Thank you so much. So to speak to that real quick, nimbleness. I would define nimbleness as being alert to photograph the expiry of a prevailing season and the beginning of the new one. I think the instrument that holds yesterday and tomorrow together, or today and tomorrow, is nimbleness. Being able to spot change at a moment's notice. I think that's priceless. That's why big, colossal organizations fail. I mean, that's why, nations crack. That's why families crack, marriages crack. Somehow we just don't know when to spot the expiry of a particular prevailing model, and to understand that is disrupted already and something new needs to come on the horizon. Kings and leaders, power centers across the world and across history have missed this key component in their positioning, right? And when you think of two concepts, you'll be able to understand the why of nimbleness and why it's a critical strategy. When you think of the fact that really powers don't vanish, people fight not to vanish. They say they don't want to disappear. They want to stay on the stage. They want to be on the horizon. You hear such words. People want to be, around. It's not enough to be around. There's a sense in which you can be around and not be present, right? There's a sense in which you can be around and not be present. Most people are not really not around. They are not just present. It means they are not potent. They are not forces, right? They are not compelling, though they are around, So there are 7 billion people on earth. How many do you know? There are 7 billion people around. But the ones you know are those who are present, those who are living a life of such intrinsic and compelling level that they force your mind to create a space for them. They pretty much rent a space in your head. And some call them those who are on the cutting edge of innovation. Some say they are relevant, perpetually relevant, and those kind of things. But it's not magic, really. It's not magic. There's just a positioning you have to have. But the beginning of that positioning is clarity. I tell people, when we know better, we do better. And the proof of clarity is action. You can't know and not do, when you know and you don't do, you are not clear about what you know. There's an abuse of knowledge out there because a lot of people don't know why they know. The moment you don't know why they know, you reduce your propensity to act on what you know, because essentially you don't have understanding about the knowledge that you have. The goal of knowledge is transformation. The goal of knowledge is advancement, disruptions, right? Innovations. That's what knowledge should come to do. So when you receive knowledge into your life, it should split your life into 2 brackets automatically, maximum 3. First bracket is what you need to stop doing. Second bracket is what you need to begin to do. The third bracket, which is not necessary, it's not a prerequisite, but if you want to create that third bracket, you can create that. And that will be what you want to work on, what you want to prepare for, what you want to research further. So knowledge must do 2 at least of those 3 things to you. Either the knowledge must tell you what to stop doing. It must tell you that. Any knowledge you receive that cannot tell you that, it's just probably an exercise in futility. Knowledge must tell you what you need to stop doing. Knowledge must tell you what you need to begin to do. Those 2 are prerequisites. Then if you choose, you can allow knowledge, permit knowledge to tell you what you need to research further or work on, right? I don't care where you receive that knowledge from, whether in the church or in the mosque or in the seminar, or anywhere, wherever you receive that knowledge from is irrelevant. If you go in there and you come out, You must be clear about what you need to stop doing, about what you need to do. So even in this conversation as well, and all that we have been having all day, it's not enough to write wisdom keys. In my session, I remind people, don't write wisdom keys. Wisdom key is not a part of production. It's easy to write all those rhymes. The power is in the power. Word. The thinking of the thinking is the movement of the thinking. Word. That crap that people just write. People have written those things all their life. You go to church. Go to church. I mean, you've been writing things for 20 years. Go to the bank and tell them, sorry, I've been writing wisdom keys for the past 20 years. Can I have $10? They will jail you. If they are kind, they will jail you. If they are not very kind, they will send you to a psychiatric doctor. You must be mad. The idea is that you just don't get attention, because you have a preference. You have to be communicating value at a level. And part of that is to always be clear the next thing, always be clear about the next thing. So can everybody hear me though? I need to be sure that everybody can hear me. For this, I need to make this comment.
Sorry, PK. 1 minute. I want to appeal to all the audience, because we're having to go in and out to mute people or mute people, and that is really causing a lot of interference. If you don't mind, for all of us to enjoy this, I would appeal to you. Please mute your mic. Please try and mute your mic. All right. We know that people try to multitask. They are listening and they are doing other things, and that is fine. But try not to use that to disrupt other people's speech. Thank you so much. PK, please, over to you.
Mics, please. I know some of us are just getting used to live online, Zoom, and all of that, but it's just what you do. There are things you don't do when you are in the public space. Zoom is now a public place. The meaning of public has been disrupted. Private is now public too. So public is not when you are in front of everybody physically. Private is when you are in front of everybody anywhere. Even your bedroom is public, depending on what you are doing on your phone. So please, let's unmute so that everybody can be fine. Because we are hearing kids. I've been tortured by it, actually. I've just been enduring it as respect and honor for my brother. Today is his birthday. If it was my platform, I would have said something that would make somebody run away from that place, to be honest with you. So thank you for that. It helps us to focus. Back to the conversation. So I was talking about knowledge and splitting that into what you can stop doing and what you have to begin to do, right? That is the goal of knowledge. Now, if I move beyond that, part of what we need to recognize is the truth that powers don't disappear. When you are powerful, you are not going to be to stop existing. When your time ends or your value fades, what it means is that potency is withdrawn from you to a large degree. And I'm going somewhere to tie this to nimbleness, right? When you look at the British Empire, for example, the British Empire controlled the world. They even colonized the United States. But the British Empire today is humble in the United Kingdom, very humble there, struggling to control his own space, right? Trying to activate his joy for Brexit and jogging on one spot, pretty much. That was the global British Empire. You see, they are not dead. They are still a rich country. They are still prosperous. They are still relevant. They are still okay. It's just that the potency they used to have, the dominance they used to have, the power they used to wield is now faded. So they have faded into a corner that gets them busy on their own affairs, and the capacity to handle global affairs has been contained, right? When we left the Stone Age, right, stone did not finish in the world. We did not exhaust, our stones in the world. We did not even exhaust its use. Till today, stones are still very important. We still need stones for so many things. But stones don't have the power they used to have. Stones don't have the usage they used to have, the patronage they used to have, the traction they used to have. So stones are still there. stones did not finish. We just found better ways of doing things that put lesser and lesser importance on stone. So that's we got out of the stone age, right? Again, you know, if you look at Italy, humble Italy, right? That is the Roman Empire that ruled the world. Italy is much the legacy of Julius Caesar. That was the Roman Empire, you know. Even the Bible records of the effects and the power and the dominion of the Roman Empire. But that is humble Italy. They are not dead. They are still there. They are still relevant. They are still a first world country, right? But they are no longer enjoying the potency, the dominance they used to enjoy. Greece, that is struggling to get attention and find space in the European Union. Greece, that is the legacy of Alexander the Great that conquered the known world of his time. That is the Greek Empire. When the Romans were in charge, when Italy ruled the world, we spoke Latin, I think. You know, when the Greeks were in charge of the world, the common language in the world was Greek, you know, just like when the British Empire was on ground, the common language was English, right? You know, maybe that's the greatest legacy of the British Empire, that the whole world is still speaking English. You know, Ottoman Empire, you know, Ottoman Empire, massive. That is the empire that humbled the Roman Empire. That's the empire. A lot of people don't, you know, except students of history, can pick the force of the Ottoman Empire. Well, that is Turkey. That's humble Turkey today. That's humble Turkey. When you think about the, you know, Babylonian Empire, you know, Nebuchadnezzar, of which even the Bible said there's no other kingdom as solid as that. The Babylonian Empire, that's Iraq right there. That's Iraq, you know, that's Iraq. And then when you think of the Chaldeans, oh no, their names just left me. But that's Iran today. That's Iran. Those were world powers of yesterday. They did not die. They did not become poor, right? They just Persia, the Persia. So Iran is the Persian kingdom. That's Persia, you know, that ruled the whole world, that humbles the Babylonian kingdom, right? That is Persia, you know. Egypt is there, you know, that's where all the pharaohs lived. One of the only of all the wonders of the world, the only one standing till date, the strongest and the only one standing, the most enduring wonders of the world, of the seven, is the pyramid in Egypt, a major income for that nation, impacting on GDP and per capita income of that country, you know. And that particular pyramid is still there till today, which is, first of all, you have to ask yourself what type of civilization built it. They didn't have cranes, they didn't have tractors like we have today. How did they construct that? More than that, it has endured till date, you know. That is a testament to the awesomeness of the Egyptian Empire dynasty. But look at it today. Look at it today. So the idea is that powers don't fade, right? Powers don't fade. Powers don't die. They just fade. They just lose their potency, right? They just cease to wield the power they used to wield. Kodak is not dead. But Kodak used to be the colossal organization that used to control the entire paper film industry across the world, making tons and tons of money, right? Somebody actually offered Kodak free, you know, to take on the digital films. They rejected it because they were too loyal to what was working. They forgot it's going to change. And so they were so loyal to paper films, they rejected collaboration on digital films. Where is Kodak today? They have disappeared. Nations have disappeared. Russia, the Soviet Union, was so loyal to communism. They faded, the anthem faded with them, the flag faded with them, right? I mean, look at Soviet Union today, broken into different parts, right? We can go on and on. When you look at the old concept of the Bible, the New Testament and the Old Testament. The Old Testament, of course, a religion has been built around that, which is Judaism, right? But the people in the guys in Judaism are still waiting for the Messiah Jesus when he had come and gone. They are so loyal to Judaism, the Old Testament, they forgot that it's going to change and how it's going to change. The change came and they missed it. Why? Because they were not nimble. You see, all these countries I've mentioned, all these nations, all these ideas from concepts like communism, Nazism, when you look at those concepts, Adolf Hitler, Bin Laden, Al-Qaeda, all of these guys onto evil or onto good somehow get lost in their prevailing power and their prevailing meaning. They forgot that you can't be loyal to methods. You can only be loyal to the mission. I'm going to get there. And I don't care what you do now, whether you are a business professional, you are a career queen or career king, or you are, you're working in the biggest company in the world, earning the biggest salary, or you are running the biggest corporation. Look, people bigger than you are faded. Organizations more solid than you are faded. Careers more robust than you are faded. People more skilled, more exposed than you are faded. I mean, CEOs. Do you know what Arthur Anderson was doing way back? When I hear people talk about KPMG, they talk about, those were the offshoot of Arthur Anderson. But where is Arthur Anderson? Disappeared. Where are the CEOs? They are in jail. Remember WorldCom? Those were big machinery. These are systems that are built on amazing, management engineering, but where are they today? Their CEOs are in jail. The companies are dead. The shareholders are poor. Some of them vanished. Some morphed into something bigger. The idea is that power will always fade. And when it fades, the implication of that is that it loses its dominance, its potency. And that can happen to you. You don't have any vaccine that's going to immune you. From that, your only vaccine is to be nimble. Don't forget what we are discussing. Why nimbleness is a strategy, right? You have to be nimble. So, but you see, the strength of remaining relevant from generation to generation, essentially, is pretty much being able to spot the expiry of a prevailing season, or a prevailing idea, or a prevailing concept, or a prevailing thought, you got to know, because everything on earth has an expiry date. There's nothing, even you listening to me, you have an expiry date in that at least one day you will die and you will leave this world. So everything has an expiry date. Now, breath is proof there's something higher to conquer. Your breath is proof there's something higher to conquer. So a season may be expiring, but as long as you are breathing, you can disrupt that season. You can morph into something even stronger than your, prevailing season or your former season, right? You can do that because breath gives you that opportunity. The idea is don't retrogress. The path of a righteous person, for example, should be shining brighter and brighter like the dawn of the morning until the perfect day. So the idea is just make sure that today is better than yesterday. Tomorrow is better than today. The degree of change is irrelevant. The pace of the change is irrelevant. But when change occurs, you want to be a stakeholder in that change, right? You don't want to be stranded in the old. You don't want to aspire with the old. So what does that even mean, right? It comes down to one of the most popular concepts in leadership and management today. And that is change management. People talk about change management, managing change. Some say lead change. Some say, because if there's no change, there's no need for nimbleness, really. The whole factor of change, necessitates the idea of being nimble, of nimbleness. And the key thing there is to be able to spot that change at a moment's notice and to be able to respond to it real quick. You see, but the thing is, how do you do that? Because change, unfortunately, has a noiseless effect. I cannot overemphasize this. has a noiseless effect. I've said it time and again. As a matter of fact, I'm recording a podcast for this because I think I should get this viral because people don't get that concept of change. You can't leave change. I don't care. Well, you can leave change if it means that you are surrendering to the arrival of change. Then you can leave it. But to assume that you are the one that brought out the change, and then you created the change, no. The human life cannot create change. The best you can do is to respond to change. Even when you fool yourself that you are creating change, you are just aligning with change, because change at its earliest form, at its earliest arrival, is noiseless and invisible. It's not only, when the coup is going to happen, some people are already discussing the coup in a room. Two people start discussing the coup. Even one person starts. The day the coup started was not the day you started hearing gunshots on the road. The coup began when somebody conceived the idea. That is a noiseless moment, intangible in time, noiseless. But that's the beginning of that change. If you now call 3-4 people and say, guys, let's plan this coup together, they can call themselves the leaders of the change, that they led something that began without them, right? But when you begin to sit on the table of change, it's not necessarily when the change began, right? Because change at its earliest form is noiseless, right? Change is God. I tell people that. They say the only thing constant in life is change. They say the only thing constant in life is change. Well, the Christians will disagree with you because they also tell you that God is also doesn't change. So change doesn't change because change will continue to happen. So change is a constant, but God is a constant as well. Christians will tell you that he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. So he doesn't change, right? And the logic is that if 2 + 2 is 4, 2 added to 2 is 4, and 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. So 2 + 2 is 4. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. It means 2 + 2 is equal to 4. 2 multiplied by 2 is equal to 4. Therefore, 2 + 2 and 2 multiplied by 2 are equal. They must be the same. Why? Both of them are equal to 4. Both equations are equal to 4. So 2 + 2 is equal to 4. 2 multiplied by 2 is equal to 4. Therefore, they are both the same. 4 is equal to 4. 2 + 2 is equal to 2 multiplied by 2. In the same way, if God is changed, if God does not change, rather, and change does not change, then God is changed, guys. Since both of them don't change, change does not change, God does not change, God is equal to don't change, change is equal to don't change. So both God and change are the same. My point is the ownership of change is an intangible, silent, noiseless experience. And therefore, the initiation of change takes that order of noiseless effect. So what do I mean? When a woman, for example, is pregnant, on the day of conception, she's not going to hear any noise. She's not going to hear anything. She's not going to hear a thing. Yet, an entire new life has been. When you sleep with a woman and she conceives, she's not going to say, hear one sound of bones. Say, what's that? I think I'm pregnant. Why? How did you know? I can hear bones moving. I can hear bones in my tummy. There's nothing like that. You're not going to hear anything like that. You are just going to stand up like before, enjoy the sex like before, get up and walk away. But a new life, an entire human being, at times twins, at times 4 of them, at times 3 of them, began to form in you. 1 month down the line, 2 months down the line, we begin to see the effect of the change, the symbolism of the change, the representation, the logo of the change, the face of the change. We begin to see the change 9 months after the baby is out, But on the very day the change began, nobody had anything. In the same way, when you sleep with someone who is HIV positive, you don't feel anything. You hug the person, you enjoy the sex, you get up like before, but you walk away like before. You will not feel a sharp pain in your penis. What's that? I just said if somebody HIV positive, why did you tell me? No. You are going to enjoy the thing, ejaculate like before, everything will be the same. But from that moment, right, something capable of terminating your life has begun inside of you. Depending on how you respond to it or when you found out, you can look like a broom 3 months after, 6 months after, and 2 years, 3 months after, and you could be dead. You know, who knows? So if you contact coronavirus right now, you're not going to hear an alarm in your head, boom, you are now coronavirus positive. No, you're going to be normal. You just begin to see the symptoms 2, 3 days after, at time 10 days after, you begin to see the symptoms. The moment the change began, you could not hear any sound. You see, when something in the Bible lost virtue and it lost its power, the Bible said he got up like before. The Bible said he got up like before. He wanted to attack the Philistines like before because a major stain has been withdrawn from him, but he wasn't aware because change is noiseless, completely noiseless. At the withdrawal, at the initiation of change, you hear nothing. And that's why people crack. Intelligent people crack because strong people crack. You know, change has beaten the wisest of men, you know, because it comes down to a posture. Once you miss that posture, you can miss change. So Joseph got up like before, he wanted to move, but he did not know that his body remains the same. His muscles were intact. Everything was intact, but the system that guaranteed his performance had been withdrawn, but it has a noiseless effect, right? When Saul was rejected king in the Bible, he was king for another 17 years. He didn't leave the throne the next year and be rejected, get out from the throne. No, God did not even tell him to get out of the throne. He remained on the throne, right? I'm sure by the 10th year, he must have said to himself, this Samuel is a fool. Finally, his words are falling to the ground. He said, I'm rejected as king. 10 years after, I'm still king. This Samuel must be joking. He must have thought he was okay. You know, he must know something that Samuel does not know. You know, maybe Samuel has lost it with God finally. I'm not rejected. But he was rejected in a very terrible way. He said, entire generation went with it. But 10 years after that proclamation, even 16, in the 16th year, he must have thought, wow, I've come to stay. This Samuel is talking crap. You know, the one that was anointed king, David, when he was anointed king as well, noiseless effect. He didn't have the crown. He didn't have the throne, you know, for another 17 years before he was king of Israel. He was king of Judah. Judah, I think 7 years after or 10, then before he became king of Israel. 17 or thereabouts. 17 years. I mean, except you understand something. You must have been wondering, where is this crown? I mean, somebody anointed me king, for God's sake. You should have told the king to leave. But change is noiseless. Only God knows what is growing in your life right now, noiseless. Only God knows what is strengthening you right now, noiseless. You see, things are noiseless. Change is noiseless. When you hear destiny beckons, when you hear change beckons, right? It's a noiseless effect. Don't wait for the wild wind. Don't wait for the storm. Don't wait for the rain. Don't wait for signs, right? That is why you can move into your next level either through pain or discernment. It's either the circumstance come to hit you and disrupt you totally without your permission through pain or discomfort, right? Or you spot it yourself. You stay alert, you stay in the spirit. That is why I even tell people, you need faith in your life. Your brain cannot photograph. If it could, somebody will have seen Obama coming. If it could, intelligent people, all the pundits who went to Harvard, see, all these schools have, and you go to Harvard, Yale, and the Ivy Leagues, fantastic things. But understand they are good for positioning. They can position you, but they are not factors of production. Your advancement, they are just part of you planting and watering. The increase is of a higher fiber, and that's where faith comes in. You see, don't tell me that where are the people of faith in the dominance of the world today? The people of faith have not been responsible in many ways. So God has had to trust people who can handle the subjects, even if they're not people of faith. There's a place for that. But that does not change the fact that association with God or consciousness of it, when we put ourselves in that space, we will do far more. I don't care what you have done. Know that true success is not what you achieve, it's what you achieve compared to what you can still achieve. It's what you have achieved compared to the value of your potential. It's what you achieve compared to what you could have achieved. So no matter how well you think you are doing, with the proper alignment in your life, particularly with the divine, you can access higher value. You can come to a place of strength and clarity that gives you a helicopter view over the issues of your life. And then if you embrace patience and you take your time, you know, your season will be announced and your throne will be democratized. But you've got to come into that place of followership as a disciplined follower to understand that there's time for everything. Now, let me take that in by reminding you that something right now is expiring in your life. You need to spot it. And something is beginning. That is the whole summary of what COVID is about. It's the end of powers as we know it. It's the beginning of powers as we know it. A lot of people are in power, pastors, CEOs, politicians, and they are not seeing this change. They just think they're going to be like this forever. Anything you are doing and you do it for 10 years and you don't disrupt it, you are probably an idiot. I'm sorry to say. You should disrupt it yourself. You should disrupt it yourself. So you have to.
You can say that again. Okay.
You have to come to that place. Now, part of that is to understand that, you know, your entire integrity, decency, your entire humanity, everything about you in the future, all of what you call relevance are tied to how you can spot change in your life, how fast you can spot it, and how quickly you can build solution blueprints around that change. Don't wait for circumstances to tell you. You'll be too much in pain and discomfort to think straight. Don't wait for circumstances. Disrupt it yourself. Disrupt it yourself and do it now. Okay? And one of the best things, if you ask me to speak on the how a bit, I'll tell you, don't camp around methods. Camp around the mission, right? Camp around the mission. The mission is a timeless experience. It's a timeless result. But the method must be changing in response to changing times, changing people, right? Changing markets. So disruptions don't change the mission. They don't even touch the mission at all. What disruptions change is the methods, So stick with the methods. Stick with the methods. And I'll give you an example. Transportation is one of my best examples. Transportation is a method. It's a mission. It's a mission. It will never change. Human beings will always move. Ideas will always move. Things will always move. We will be in movement forever. The human life is measured by its weight of movement. We must move. We are built for momentum. So you will move, right? But how we move is a method, and it will be changing in response to changing times, changing people, changing markets. So car, horses, chariots, air transport, helicopters, cars, buses, ship, you know, sailing ship, you know, they are all methods and they've been disrupted. Then cabs, yellow cabs in some states, in some countries, right? Cabs, taxis, then Uber disrupted all of that, right? Because Uber transportation is a mission. How we experience and fulfill that mission are methods that must be changing, right? Music is a mission. Music is a mission. CD, DVD, MP3, Bluetooth, Walkman, CD carrier, transistor, radio, records, all of that are methods. They are methods and they will be changing. Physical gathering is not, association is a mission. Physical gathering is not a mission, it's a method. So it can be disrupted. That's why everybody is online now. So whatever you are doing, make the distinction between the mission and the method. Always look for that. In fact, ask yourself every 3 months, am I still on the mission? Have I substituted the mission for the method or the method for the mission, right? And then is there anything changing around the methods? You should do that every 3 months, every 90 days. Make an effort to disrupt yourself or what you are doing. I think if you are like that, you will be able to not create the change, but spot the change at a moment's notice, right? That is why nimbleness is a strategy. And I'll leave it there. Thank you so much. Happy birthday again, Shola, everybody. Today is your day. We celebrate you. We love you. Stay on top of things. Your energy is loud. And you are one person who is extremely nimble. You have continued to disrupt yourself again and again and again and again. And here you are, still a force today. And I can imagine what is ahead of you. I'm excited about your next 10 years. New vistas, new frontiers, new power, new responsibilities, new people, new territories, new geography if necessary. But newness has come to you. As you count 10 years, 5 times, you have come into honor and dignity at a higher frequency. I bless you today. I declare grace for you today in the name of Jesus. I celebrate your family. I celebrate your children. I celebrate, your entire life. And on behalf of my family, on behalf of my wife, they send their greetings. My son David, they send their greetings. And they are telling me to let you know that they love you, they believe in you, and they celebrate you. My wife in particular, I'm sure she's going to call you somewhere along the line, but she celebrates you mightily, and she sends our greetings. God bless you, sir.
Wow. What else can we say? This is the climax for us all tonight. As a matter of fact, I kept my eyes on the number of the participants. I want to see whether there will be a drastic reduction. But to my, I'm not surprised that almost 95% of people that started with us have actually stayed glued to the end. It shows that there is a lot of value that we have generated from this conversation tonight. And I really, really want to say a big thank you to you, PK. And at this point, before I go to ask one or two questions, I need you guys to just help me send some love to PK right now. Tell him how he has impacted, just give him a thumbs up, a emoji, clap. Just let us understand that, yes, the time that he has spent with us tonight has really, really been what I saw a 10-10. Somebody say, wow, wow, wow. Thank you, PK. It is phenomenal. I want to suspect that is coming from somebody I know. All right. Thank you so much, PK. I believe that most people will go to their bed this night still really thinking about a lot of things that you have said tonight. One key thing for me, which of course I know and I've been reminded again tonight, is the need to stay nimble. You don't stay committed. You don't stay too faithful to a method as to miss the mission. When the mission is static, as it were, all right, and the method can change, it's dynamic. As a matter of fact, even in my team, we kept saying that what has happened now has not changed the need for knowledge. The only thing is that what are the methods, what are the channels, what are the platforms, what are the methodologies that we're going to begin to deploy to still ensure that we provide bank-wide or organizational-wide, learning. Yeah. How can we still maintain the momentum for continuous learning across board? And the truth be told, sir, what I think we have discovered and realized at this time is the fact that, yes, before now, FCMB has always been a forward-looking organization. We've been using online training for the past 10 years, over a decade ago. But the interesting thing is that the adoption, the acceptance has never really been as what it is right now, because the truth is that people now recognize that before you have option to come to class and you have option to come to classroom, to do online. So people always embrace the method of the classroom, all right? And they are so passionate about it. I want to come to classroom. Meanwhile, the mission there is learning. And you say that the goal of learning is transformation. Does that mean that if you come online for a training like what we are doing right now, does that mean that you will still not get the value that you can get from a classroom?
You
no.
get it.
So the reason why we go for classroom most times is actually not for that main mission, which is learning. We go to classroom for other reasons. Okay, so I'm saying this to just say to people out there that what we need to begin to do, and I love the fact that we put this particular conversation as the last, because this is the one that I can say that is calling us to action. It's calling us to action. What do you need to change? All right, what needs to shift? What needs to be redesigned or be reformatted in your life? All right, whether in your career space, even in your family. By the way, PK, that's your model of saying that, you know, knowledge must deliver two things to you: what you must start doing or what you must stop doing. I added two more perspectives to that, sir.
Great.
Right? The perspective that, okay, what are those things that you will start doing? That is what you said. And what do I need to stop doing? Okay, that is established. But you need to take it further to say, what are the things that I need to do more?
Great.
I'm currently doing it, giving me results, but I need to gain more traction for me to really move closer and faster to my goal. I must do more of those, practice more of those. And there are other things, yes, we are doing them, but again, it can also work, you know, negative to your goal. So you need to ask yourself, what are those things that they are good? Just like we all agree that salt is not, when you are cooking, women, they need to put some salt to taste. But if you pour a cup or a whole bowl of salt into your soup, you know, you've spoiled everything. So there are certain things, again, even as we have been having this conversation, that they are good things, but you just have to do less of them. So I am going to put all our audience out there tonight that from all that PK has said, please put them into 4 buckets. What you will start doing, what you will stop doing, what you do more, and what you need to do less. If that is all you are able to create from this, you know, conversation tonight, trust me, your life, and I dare say, I'm not speaking spiritually, but on the practical and pragmatic point of view, that will not remain the same again. So thank you so much, PK. I'm going to quickly check the chat. There's no how people won't be asking serious, controversial, and mind-boggling questions right now. Let me pick 1 or 2, then I will come back to you. Please, just stay tuned.
Please, no problem.
All right. All right, excellent. Please bring it up for me. All right. Okay, I just see a lot of wonderful comments for PK's session. Some of us focus on perfection. Now, PK, you need to take this. It says some of us focus on perfection, especially on, no, you move it. All right, okay, so some of us focus on perfection. No, this thing keeps moving. It keeps shifting. Okay, but I need you to take it, sir. So especially on what used to be, right now, are you advising that we abandon that, all right? Okay, and focus on progress. At this point of change, does perfection disempower us? In other words, do we, you know, this person wants you to speak to people that they are perfectionists. They don't move until they have dot all the I's, cross all the T's, and put it in a bucket and a frame, and let it come out like a picture perfect. All right. So please, I'll need you to quickly speak to that and let us. All right.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So my response to that is that the goal of the pursuit of perfection is nothing but for inspiration, not for experience. You will never attain to perfection. The perfection is just to keep you inspired. The pursuit, the possibility of perfection is to keep inspiration alive, is to keep optimism meaningful, is to keep you driven, is to keep you enthusiastic, is to keep you optimistic. In practical terms, you will never arrive at perfection. As a matter of fact, let me depress you a bit. Planet Earth does not have what it takes to contain perfection. Planet Earth cannot contain perfection. Once any perfect thing enters the earth, it becomes imperfect automatically. I can show you examples from everywhere, even in scriptures. Planet Earth. That is why I tell people to be careful with thus says the Lord, because planet Earth cannot contain perfection. Joseph had a dream. He said, sun, moon, 11 stars, bow down to him. That was his dream. His brothers, his fathers, they all interpreted that to mean his dad, his mom, and his brothers are going to bow down to him. They interpreted it based on the perfect knowledge they have about their own world. They couldn't see the whole world because they are not in that world. By the time the dream came to pass, Joseph's mom was dead. So either Joseph, either the sun or the moon was not his mother. But with hindsight, we can go and look at those who bowed to Joseph today. Egypt bowed. All his brothers bowed. His entire family. So if I'm going to interpret that dream, I would say his parents, because he had stepmoms, his parents bowed to him. His brothers bowed to him. Civilization, which is what Egypt represented, bowed down to him. But there's no way the smallness of the thinking of his family members could have imagined that Egypt will bow down to them, how much more to their youngest brother Joseph. So they were limited in their scope. I tell people this and never forget it. If you are ready, you are late already. If you are ready, you are already late. If you are ready, you are late. You can't walk to be ready. That is why you have phones in phases of development. You have iPhone 2, iPhone 3, iPhone 5, iPhone 8, iPhone 10, iPhone 10X, iPhone 11. You know, you have Note 5, Note 6, Note 7. See, from the moment when they were working on Note 5, they have ideas for Note 10, but they can't wait for Note 10 to be ready before they go to the market. So what do? They give you a face of their clarity, and they put out so that you can pay for that face of their own clarity while they continue to work on solution models around the clarity. Then they will achieve another milestone in the pursuit of their clarity. Then they will give you that as the next level, and you pay for it. So forget about perfection. The pursuit of perfection brews your frustration and leads you to depression. It destroys your mind. It attacks your soul. It defeats your visioning. You know, it attacks your sense of mission, your sense of thoroughness. Most importantly, it takes you away from the stage of relevance. Wow. What you need to do is don't sit down in your corner trying to design the perfection of whatever it is. Let the market, that is the responsibility of the market, not yours. So you get something ready, throw it to the audience, start working on something else. Whatever the market says, however they react to your product, it's a feedback from you, for you. So you keep working, but don't camp around perfection.
Thank you, PK.
And fool yourself that you are creating. The pursuit of perfection is a self-initiated attack to keep yourself stagnant and on one spot. That's the truth.
Excellent, PK. Wonderful, wonderful. And the one way I'm going to say it again for people to get that in, and for those that are lovers of wisdom's keys, I know that you said we should not follow, wisdom's key, but we also know that some of us, we compartmentalize things in our brain by having them jotted down in nugget points. All right. Correct. So everybody needs to just understand that perfection is a continuum. Perfection is a continuum. It is nothing, it's not a state, because nothing exists in its final state or stage of perfection. All right, and we must recognize that. So, PK, thank you so much for that elaborate, insight on how not to just stay until you get everything ready, because by the time you are ready, you are late. Okay, so very quickly, there's a comment from Facebook which I want you to take as the last, comment that we're going to discuss tonight. All right, it's coming from somebody, say, PK, so why must we go to church if we can receive the same service online? I don't want to preempt what you will say.
Should I answer that?
You're not going to answer. Okay, let me give you a second one, so maybe you choose which one you want to answer out of the two. All right. Okay. Someone said, okay, this is time and data well invested. Oh, this one is just a comment. He said, how can we identify change? PK, this is a very, very valid one. How can we identify change? All right, so that we are not too late by the time we are plugging in, by the time we are joining the train. All right, how can we identify change? PK, help us respond to that. And I would love if we can help us wrap it up in 2 minutes.
Great, I'll try. So the first question is,
2 minutes.
Why should we go to church? We should go to church. We should go to church because the Bible says we should not forsake the assembly of the saints. But Assembly of the Saints does not stop online, because going to physical church itself is a method. It's going to keep changing. It's not the mission. The mission is the gospel. The mission is transformation. The mission is reaching out, right? But how we experience that must be changing in response to changing time and changing markets and changing people. Now, this is the thing. There's abuse of purpose, which is when you put a thing to a different function away from its design. But there's also abuse of purpose when you underutilize capacity, right? So, for example, the things you should not do are the things that does not present itself as an option for you. So if there was no option to go to the physical church, then we stay online if that is the only option available. The moment options are available such that we can have a physical experience, and when you know about diminishing returns, when you know about marginal utility, when you know about those kind of concepts, you know that you will get nauseous after a while. You can't stay on an agenda forever. You'll be tired, just like you love to go home after work. You love to stay in your room, but you can't stay in your room all your life. After a while, you'll be tired. You want to see the wind. You want to see the sun. You want to get out of your house. So in the same way, I believe physical church is going to come back, and then we should go there, but it will not become the definition of our fellowship and communion as people of God. It will be a formidable back door to the online front door, and it will be a formidable addition to the options on the tray and on the shelf. That is how I see that. The second question, so go to church, sir, or ma. Then the second question is what again? I forgot the second question, please.
How do you identify change? How do you
I mentioned it. I told you, the difference between mission and method. Watch out for that and try to spot that every 90 days. I believe the lifespan of a good news or a bad news is 90 days. That's why if you watch CNN, you will always see that, when they have a news, they will keep repeating that news, until they find something that can replace it. They will be repeating it. They are looking for the next news. So always look for the next. Be in a posture. It's not bad if you have one person or two people or even a department that is R&D that is continually questioning the best of your ideas and questioning the best things working for you. That's your R&D unit. They are fact-finding. They are allowing every prevailing idea to justify its continuity. And so they keep questioning and questioning. It's not a bad idea to do that, and do that every 90 days. No matter the scandal that somebody gets into, in 90 days, everybody will stop talking about it. They will be waiting for something new. The lifespan of bad news or good news is 90 days. I believe the relevance of an idea at its highest state is 90 days. Even if you release a phone today, a brand new phone, 90 days after, it is due for destruction. The world will continue to use it, but you, the maker, you should begin to work on a new model immediately. That is why you see iPhone 12 will come, iPhone 13 will come, because immediately they release it, they give it 90 days on the shelf to relax. After 90 days, they begin the next problem, and they are working on it. That is how we have to think, right? It's again, you can't be too loyal to what is working and forget it's going to change. Change is a constant. So understand that. Instead of waiting for change to pinch you and remind you of its arrival, you pinch yourself to check if change has come, so that you can align and be on the cutting edge and lead those who are going to come into it, so that you are a stakeholder in the new option. I think those are the kind of things you consider, right? And you'll be able to build that change. It's more expanded than that, but that will be a good summary.
Excellent, PK. Honestly, we are all on behalf of everybody that has joined us online tonight. I want to say a very big thank you to you and all our speakers that took their time, precious time, to invest in this particular conversation. And I believe that people have picked one or two, insights and implementable ideas that they can put to action immediately after tonight's conversation, particularly if they can just look for those 4 things that we discussed earlier on, things that you must start, things that you must stop, and things that you must do more or do less. And on that note, I think it will just be a good time for me to call up on someone that I believe it needs to just express our gratitude to all our speakers on my behalf. These are people that have actually really contributed in one way or the other to my, career so far and my life at DSA. And I have also used this platform to give people that are in my community or in my network to also glean from their knowledge. So on that note, I want to bring up my friend and my brother, Bayo Adeosun, who again, I must acknowledge him openly here, that he has been of tremendous support to me to see this particular concept from ideation even to execution, and of course to launch today. So I can't take the credit for all the beautiful things that has happened today and all the things that some of you have experienced online till now. So ladies and gentlemen, as we are rounding up, I need you to say one wonderful thing to all our audience. By the way, I don't know whether that opinion poll went out. We tried to pull an opinion poll out there to just gauge the level of your satisfaction. We're going to, it's already ongoing, and I think about 107 people have voted already. I will need more people to just give us an idea, because one thing about what PK is talking about is that there's perfection. We need to always look for how to improve. The best way to improve is to get feedback, and feedback is always a gift. So we're going to be really looking forward to getting feedback from you by doing that poll, and we're going to look at it and use it to improve the next version of this or the next edition of this. And trust me, we can only get better. That's it. That's the way to go. We'll only get better. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the investment of your time, investment of you sacrifice different things to be here today. Just like I know that this is something that will go down history, that at least we were all able to do something meaningful with our time this night together. Thank you so much. I'm bringing Bayo Adeosun up right now to just say a word of appreciation and of course gratitude to our speakers tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you.